My name's Kingma. My wife is Angie. Unfortunately, she just had to leave to take my daughter to camp. We have a Tint World location that just opened in Mississauga, and we've been open about 6 weeks. So we had somebody who was immersed in the franchise world, who had a lot of contacts, was really in favor of the Tint World brand, and connected us with Charles, who took us through the process. Anthony was able to answer a lot of our questions. My wife and I went down and visited the head office and really found a lot of reasons why we wanted to open this franchise. The kid in me would say I've loved cars ever since I was 5 years old. My wife's loved cars ever since she was a young kid. But we didn't let that cloud our judgment. We did look into the business value proposition, the marketing, the branding, the support, the differentiation in the market, and Tint World answered all those questions. They ticked all the boxes off. So after a fair amount of research and a fair amount of interviewing of existing franchisees and taking a look at other franchise opportunities, it was pretty clear to us that Tint World not only fit the business value proposition, but also the personal passion proposition. Discovery Day was a real eye-opener. My wife and I went down. We were greeted by Anthony, who took us around to a couple of stores. We were able to meet the staff. We liked the operations, the fact that they had the support of head office, but the individual franchisees were able to run their businesses was something that was really attractive to us. And I think my wife and I both were at the airport on the way home and both looked at each other and said, I think we should do this. What was pretty obvious early on was this family atmosphere, that when you join the Tint World business, you're joining the Tint World family. And that exudes from Charles all the way down to the rest of the staff. The Tint World training program was really well thought out. I went down for 2 weeks of in-classroom training. We had a good mix of Tint World staff in the training. They were able to answer a lot of questions. We had vendors come in, which was great to meet them and understand what kind of support we were getting from them. It was a good balance between understanding the value propositions for the business, the reason why Tint World stands out as far as what's expected of the service delivery and the quality. By the time we got to the third week, which was the in-store training, that was a great real-life exposure to everything we'd learned into the classroom. Charles is one of the most unique people I've ever met. It's impossible not to like Charles, whether it's his passion for the business or his knowledge for the business or his understanding of what it's like to be a franchisee. I think that's what really immersed me in his passion, was the fact that he's not only been a franchisee, but he's been a very successful franchisee. Every time I speak to him, I feel like I recharge my batteries. He's passionate about the brand. He's passionate about the services that we offer in the industry, but he also understands what it's like to be a franchisee. And I think that's kind of a unique combination. And one of the things I love about Charles is every time I call him or every time I talk to him, I learn 5 new things. So I can never get tired of that. Joe Iglesias is our operations manager. We're really fortunate to have him. He has run his own shop. He understands this industry as well as anybody. His ability to train, I think, is really unique. The videos not only speak a lot about that, but getting him training in person is fantastic. He can pick up things very quickly, not only because of his background, but because he's visited many stores. He's seen stores that are running smoothly. He's seen stores that are just starting up. So he has a good balance of understanding what's going to work in different markets. And what I like about him is he also respects the fact that each market is different. Finding the location is always a challenge because the Tint World offering is fairly unique. You need the retail space, you need a place to work on cars. Jeff is great at helping you understand kind of the important points. He was great at being able to provide the materials we need to get the landlord interested in our business, because when you're talking about cars, everybody has assumptions. So he brought a professional level of attention to the table and some branding materials that really helped with that conversation. The negotiating process was made easier by Jeff. The build out is always a challenge. It's a fun challenge and it can be a difficult challenge. You've got head office people that have done this, 20, 30, 50, 100 times. And so knowing that they're there to answer questions for you, those are all things that they've seen many times. They know what works, so they're able to answer those questions and just help you get along. Whereas if you were doing this on your own, there's no way you could deliver the end result that we were able to deliver here. So the Tint World marketing program is very well thought out. So of course, with a lot of services that we provide, people don't necessarily know where to go to. So they're jumping on Google or Bing or any of the other search engines to figure out what's available in their area. The first day we opened, we actually had customers that had found us on Google and walked in the front door. I can't say I was expecting that. I was pretty happy about it. And we have had many leads come on a daily basis because of how well thought out the marketing process has been. So I think my favorite Tint World service is probably the paint protection film. The reason being, that would be the first thing that I would recommend to somebody who wants to protect their car. We certainly would like to open other stores, but we want to get this one right first. So the focus is here. I think we have a staff that's in it for the long term. They want to be along for the ride. And my wife and I certainly have planned to open other stores in the future. The number one piece of advice that I would give for future prospects for Tint World would be ask a lot of questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Write those questions down. You're going to have different questions for head office than you are going to have for your franchisees that you interview. And don't just interview one or two franchisees, because the questions that you're going to have are going to change the more franchises that you ask. And so asking a lot of questions, I think, reduces the confusion and may reduce the doubt for you. And may determine whether this is a good fit for you and your business. And really the only way to do that is to ask people that have gone through the process of buying a franchise, opening a store, and running that store. So just ask a lot of questions.